All right, and as Andy alluded to, onto the main card, onto the pay-per-view. I know each and every one of you is not going to go and illegally stream this main card because Dana White needs our money, and he gives it all to the fighters. He gives it all to the fighters. So we need to make sure these fighters get fairly paid for their contribution to our entertainment on a Saturday, not night, but afternoon and morning. So let's make sure that our friend Said Nurmagomedov, as Andy so eloquently put it, is a minus 210 favorite against Muin Gafurov. And Said is 17-3, 6-2 in the UFC. But really, he's one of my favorite fighters, which is odd to say. Some of you who are familiar with him might be like Said because he's gotten a lot of decisions throughout his career. But to me, he's always been such a cerebral fighter. He's patient, and he's willing to take anything that his opponents give him. He can fight the fight anywhere it goes, and there might be times where he gets overpowered or somebody's trying to work him. He can really be able to sustain that pressure from fighters and be able to dish it right back out to him. And he's got an opponent today in Gafurov who 0-1 in his UFC, but has been known to get finishes throughout his career. 18-5 with 10 coming by knockout, 7 by submission. He's faced an incredible level of competition across the LFA and won championship. And had a cool run where he went to Dana White's Contender Series and lost to Chad Ellinger by a split decision. So he went back to the LFA and knocked out his 2 opponents. And then in his debut, he fought John Castaneda and lost. But it should be an interesting play. My issue with Gafurov and why I like Nurmagomedov a lot in this fight is that it's a lot of offense. It's all offense moving forward. And Said's seen that. He's seen that. He's fought some good competition. He's fought Jonathan Martinez and Said Kakramanov as well. Both 2 very talented fighters that are willing to put the pressure on him. And he dealt with that pressure. I'm not going to say he dealt with it phenomenally, but he dealt with it pretty well. And this feels like a big step up for Gafurov for quality. And I just like the ability for Nurmagomedov to see success in a bunch of different areas. So I know that was long-winded, but Andy would love to hear what you got here.
Yeah, I'm just not fully sold on Gafurov, and it's very interesting that he's been able to just catapult himself into these higher contender fights here. And he's starting off a pay-per-view with his resume and all that. So I know that there are people who are a bit more familiar with his background and why that is. He has had fight fans that are really deep in the weeds have had their eyes on this guy for a long time. But this is Said Nurmagomedov we're talking about here. I just don't think that this is the level of competition that Gafurov is used to, where we're going to see, I don't know, I think we're going to see it pretty one-sided, in my opinion, just to put it lightly. I don't see a route here where Gafurov wins. And for some of these fights that have been so one-sided from a betting perspective, I was surprised when I saw that this wasn't one of them, where minus 210 is pretty typical for Vegas saying, yeah, we got a favorite here, but he's not a crazy favorite. So I'm going to take advantage of that, Rick, and I'm going to go ahead and give my play, even though we have a minute and a half left on the timer. I've got Said parlayed with Khamzat Chimaev. So that's my second parlay with Chimaev. That's all I'm doing on that. I'm not going to be, lock everything in with Chimaev. I'm not doing that shit, but you'll hear when we get to the Chimaev analysis why I feel that way, why I want to have 2 units on that. I'm just doing a unit on this parlay of Said at minus 210 with Chimaev at minus 275. And the reason that Chimaev number is a bit different than my prior parlay is because this one is on BetMGM. So just got to make sure you line up around and find the best value so you can get the best prices when you're doing stuff like this. But I don't need to go into line shopping too much here. Do you have anything else on this one? Because I feel like I kept it brief, but you put it pretty well to kick it off.
Yeah, I picked Said in this fight. I'm going to end up playing him in a couple parlays over the weekend. But the other pick, the pick that I'm going to officially lock in here is the under 2.5. I feel like I'm on a lot of unders in this card, which is really That's not fine. Like me. But I think that there's just a lot of value in the unders because you got some fighters that have gone to decision recently. But they're facing fighters that are really going to be able to force that out of them. So Gafurov's going to want to push on the gas here. And I think that's going to force him into a mistake, and Said's going to be able to take advantage of it. Or, and I don't think this is going to happen, obviously, but it's possible, is he's able to clip Said. We've seen Said hurt, and we've seen him in some difficult situations. So I like Said to get it done, but I like that under as well as some value. So both of us going with Said Nurmagomedov on this play. 4 fights left on this card, with the next being Ikram Aliskerov and Warley Alves. So excited to get there, and we'll see you over there.